Okay, so here's the video I've been talking about doing for a little while. Today's video is going to be on 4 of my favorite non-fiction books. Kind of like a review of them and whatnot. Talk about them, my opinions and whatnot. They're non-fiction. Maybe I'll do another video in the future on fiction books, but these are going to be 4 non-fiction books. I like some non-fiction. I like fiction probably more than non-fiction. So the fiction books would probably take a lot longer because there's a lot that I could go through. In fact, including a whole series of books. But for the non-fiction, the ones I like, I really like. And there's more that I like besides these 4, but these are going to be the 4 that I discuss. So, without further ado, pretty sure that's not how you say that, but here we go. Rolling into the 4th, I won't say least favorite, but I'm gonna do them like in order. My favorite one's gonna be the very last one. And go from there. Like this is still like a good book. I borrowed it from one of my best friends, Brandon. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. He has a way of explaining things that make people that I won't say dumb like myself, but it's easier to understand. Like he goes about explaining physics in this book and the universe in a way that really you can comprehend, and it's very interesting. And it's a quick read. You can see the size of it. I mean, you can read this in like really a day during quarantine. If you're bored, you can read this whole book. But highly recommend it. It's very interesting. It's very informative. It's a good book. Something you could, like I said, you could read. Just take a whole day during quarantine. Probably wouldn't even take you a whole day if you're a fast reader. But like I said, you can see it's not that big, and the words in it, you know, they're not exactly small print. So like I said, you can roll through this in a day and a half, 2 days. But depending on how breaks you take and how much you actually read, but you can good read. So that's number 1. Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. So if you're in a hurry, you can knock it out in no time. My second book is one that I've read probably at least 3 times because I'm super interested in it. It's Yankee Order in Acadiana. This book was written by a professor at UL. Well, back when he wrote it, it was actually USL, but this is one of the newer versions of it, I guess, because it says University of Louisiana at Lafayette, which, let me get there on the camera. Baya! Which is right down the road from us in Lafayette. I'm over in, the big old Opelousas. But what is awesome about this book is it covers the 1863 expedition all the way from New Orleans all the way down Bayou Teche, and then they break off at a certain point, and some of the troops go through Vermilionville, which is now Lafayette, and follow the stagecoach road, which comes straight through Sunset, Opelousas, and some of the troops stay on the Teche, go all the way to Port Barry, which at the time was called Barry's Landing, and then they forgot where they meet up. I have to read it a 4th time now. But basically it ends kind of where they're starting to gather for what ends up being the push that ends up turning into same push that pushes up north to like the Battle of Mansfield and whatnot, where Alexander Mouton, General Mouton, was killed at. Like I said, great read. It's a lot thicker of a read than the first book I went over, but it has a lot of illustrations. And it's got a lot of diary entries and from people that locally, and it just goes through so much. One of the battles it talks about is the Battle of Bordeaux, which happened not far from here where I live. I live in between Opelousas and Sunset, and there's actually a Confederate mass grave on 182 between here and Sunset that is from that time frame. and the skirmishes that happened around there. So, really interesting. If you're interested in Civil War history, especially local history, if you're in the South Louisiana area, great book. Really highly recommend it. It's a little tough to find. I found this one in a bookshop in New Orleans. I bought it, I think, in 07, maybe 06, 07, somewhere in that time frame. You can probably get it online easily now because, you know, everything's come a long way since then. So if you can find it and you're really interested in Louisiana history, Civil War history, local history, even just Civil War history in general, it's really interesting. I actually found out about this book from a coworker who had it on the boat when I was offshore one time, and I read through a little bit of it and was like, oh wow, I need to find that book. So, like I said, this is probably my second favorite non-fiction book. Alright, like right here on the back, Bayou Catable. Y'all know what Bayou Catable is if you're locally one of my people. Which also goes to show some of my local friends, Brandon, Mark, Lee, Paul, you know, Chris. If y'all want to borrow this, I know where you live. You can borrow it from me. Because I know where to get it back from. So, boom. Now, my third favorite nonfiction book. And this is runs a real close second to the first book. With further to do, drum roll. Boom! Sean Payton, Home Team. This also was a pretty quick read. Great book. Has a little bit of illustrations in the middle that show the Super Bowl stuff. But awesome book. Talks about all the way from he talks about his getting into college football coaching. Talks about getting into the NFL through John Gruden. Talks about passing up on the Raiders job. That's probably the most interesting parts in it. Is where he talks about passing up on the Raiders job. He had that locked. Like, he did the interviews, had it locked, and went with his gut and a little bit of advice from other coaches like Bill Parcells, and decided to pass on it. Waited 1 year, ended up being the Saints head coach. The rest is history. Yeah, get it. Read. If you're a Saints fan, this is a must read. If you haven't read this yet and you're a Saints fan, I don't know what you're waiting for. Read it. Now, favorite nonfiction book. Bayou number 9. Yep. Y'all should have known that already. Coming Back Stronger. Drew Brees. Same thing, goes over his early life, his college career, his days with San Diego, then his injury, and the coming back from the injury, and the Super Bowl. One of the great things about this book that I have in my actual hand, booyah! That's right, signed copy of the book. So this don't leave my house. Ain't none of y'all borrowing this book from me, y'all. Sorry. Signed copy. I have his signed jersey on the wall. Shout out to my brother B. But this one, and I wish I'd have got more than one copy when I did this, because it turns out we didn't know, but they were allowing you to get 2 copies when we went to the book signing at Barnes and Noble? I think it was Barnes and Noble. And it's either Barnes and Noble or another bookshop. It was in Metairie. He had 2 that day. One, and I went to the first one. Somebody who remembers who was with me, maybe Blake might remember if he's watching this. Comment if you do. Tracy, you were with us too, I believe. Yeah, you were with us. Tracy, if you remember, comment. Lacey, comment. Y'all might remember. That's how bad my memory is getting, y'all. I should know exactly what bookstore it was when we met. We didn't get to really talk to him because it was a rush. But we stood right there. He saw my book. They was like, oh yeah, and they were letting you do 2, but we only had 1. So I tried to pass up the Sean Payton book because I had it with me at the same time, and it was like, they were like, no, we always saw it in Drew's book. I was like, okay. So I wish I'd have got a second copy because that would have made an awesome gift for another Saints fan. But I didn't. That was a big fail by me. But I got at least one copy of it. I'll show y'all that autograph one more time. Yeah. And maybe I'll pin the photo of it when he was signing it. I have it. It's on Facebook if you want to see. But yeah, on the forward is by Mark Brunell, our backup quarterback the year we won a Super Bowl. Yeah, excellent read, excellent book. Once again, if you're a Saints fan, Drew Brees fan, you gotta read it. Got to. This may be his last year, maybe his second last year. I've already just told people this for years now, and it's set in stone now unless I'm not alive for some reason. When he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, I will be there. Shit, I might have to take the signed jersey off the wall and wear it. Nah, I won't do that. I'll wear another jersey, maybe get it signed and have two of them. One to pass on to Dominic when he gets his first house. Well, I'm thinking. That's plans. That's called plans. But anyway, yeah. Must read if you're a Saints fan, but you ain't reading this copy. Sorry. So, that is it for 4 books that you should probably read if you can get your hands on them during the quarantine. If you can't, I'm sure there's other books, but these are 4 good ones that I figured I'd do a video on recommending. Hope everybody's doing well. I got to get back to work. I took a little small break. That's my wife calling. I will figure out how to turn it off. There we go. I'll call her back in a few seconds because I've been in the video anyway. Hope y'all being safe. It's gonna end eventually. They pushed it back another 2 weeks, but we're gonna get through this. It's gonna get done. Hopefully, life is gonna get back to normal, but we just need to get to that point. I think we need to really start. It's gonna 2 weeks would be enough. Reopen everything at that point. These phases. Anyway, I don't want to get political. I don't want to get crazy, but we all getting fed up of quarantine. Even if you for it, I know you fed up with it. But we're gonna get through it. We'll be all right. Until then, we'll talk football. We'll talk books. We'll talk fishing, hunting. That's what this channel is about. Cooking. Anything else y'all think of, lay it in the comments of a video that y'all might want to see that y'all think I could produce. I'll try it. If it sounds like a good idea, I'll roll with it. But that's it for today. Love y'all. Peace. And who dat?